I, Dr. Kavita Singh, Associate Professor of Law, working in WBNUJS, have a teaching experience of more than 15 years. My expertise are criminal law, criminology, victimology, international taxation, and family law. For the purpose of e-Pathshala, we are recording on the topic of the subject socioeconomic offences. The title of our today's discussion is the terror financing in India. Introduction to the terror financing in India. India possesses a unique distinguishing feature of mixed peace and conflict characteristics that has a great impact on its policy. India is most affected by externally sponsored terrorism, scattering through its neighbor countries like Pakistan, China, etc. India also faces internal security problem due to poor governance in those states. Maintenance of law and order is state matter, and the same mechanism is used for dealing with the problem of terrorism by possessing own intelligence units. The few years, country faced domestic turmoil. The state were found ill equipped to deal with the terrorism. Recent changes brought in the law Unlawful Activities Prevention Amendment Act 2008. Vulnerable situations are created by the foreign backed threats along with the poor domestic security arrangements. There is no effective coordination between the different law enforcement institutions. India is a soft target of the terrorism and has been combating the same since independence in one form or the other. It is considered as a epicenter of global terrorism. Being the victim of terror, India for the longest period regrettably cannot foresee the future. The 2000 Act in its schedule notifies the banned terrorist organizations. Unfortunately, every time the list is amended, a new organization comes up spreading its tentacles of terror activities. Guaranteed source of finance helps terrorist organizations to survive and flourish effectively, along with the other requirements such as ideological motivations, terrorist infrastructures, recruitments of manpower, mobility. Internationally and also regionally, accesses to arms, explosives. According to UN Secretary of the State Colin Powell, money is oxygen for terrorism. Terrorism financing. Terrorist organizations mobilize funds through wide range of self-directed and decentralized networks. These funds are then used for their maintenance, day-to-day expenses for the running of the organization, for training, recruitments of terrorists, buying sophisticated arms and ammunitions, explosives, and for specific terror operations. What is terror financing? Terror financing involves the solicitation, collection, or provision of funds with the intention that they may be used to support terrorist acts or organizations. Funds may stem from both legal and illicit source. More precisely, according to the International Convention for the Suppression of the Financing of Terrorism, a person commits the crime of financing of terrorism if that person by any means directly or indirectly, lawfully and willfully provides or collects funds with the intention that they should be used in the knowledge that they are to be used in full or in part in order to carry out an offence with the scope of the convention. The primary goal of the individuals or the entities involved in the financing of terrorism is therefore not necessarily to conceal the source of the money, but to conceal both the financing and the nature of financed activity. Financial institutions identify obstacles such as privacy laws and the implementation of confidentiality rule related to suspicious transaction, reports to sharing of information both among financial institutions and within the single global financial institution. One example with which the monitoring team was provided concerned a branch of a global financial institution operating in a specific jurisdiction which was not allowed to share within the global corporate structure. The fact that it has filed a suspicious transaction report in the jurisdiction, these types of impediments create a scenario where each jurisdiction sees only one part of the puzzle, while the full picture is obscured. Furthermore, owing to the privacy restrictions, financial institutions located in some jurisdiction are unable to share information with each other for fear of incurring legal liability. One opinion that the market participants outlined to the monitoring team was the provision of safe harbor laws which would allow financial institution under certain clear defined circumstances and without the fear of legal repercussions to share information with each other pertaining to terrorist financing as related to ISIL, Al Qaeda and associates. However, this would require change to be made to the legal framework. International conventions for the suppression of the financing of terrorism, United Nations General Assembly, after being convinced of the urgent need to enhance international cooperation among states in devising and adopting effective measures for the prevention of the financing of terrorism as well as for its suppression through the prosecution and punishment of its perpetrators. There is close connection between international terrorism and transnational organized crime, illicit drug trafficking, money laundering, illegal arms trafficking and legal movement of nuclear, chemical, biological and other potentially deadly materials, and in this regard emphasizes the need to enhance coordination of efforts on national and sub-regional, regional and international levels in order to strengthen a global response to this series challenges and threat to the international security. UN Convention for Suppression of the Financing of Terrorism defines terror financing as it occurs when a person by any means directly or indirectly, lawfully and willfully provides or collects funds with the intention that such the funds will be used in the knowledge that the funds will be used in full or in part in order to carry out a terrorist act. FATF specially recommended on 5th criminalization of terrorism financing gave a similar definition. Terrorist act as any act intended to cause death or serious bodily injury to a civilian or any other person not taking an active part in the hostilities. Usually the purpose is to intimidate a population or to compel the government to abstain from doing any act. Palmero Convention calls upon all states to recognize the links between transnational organized criminal activities and acts of terrorism, taking into account the relevant General Assembly resolutions and to apply the United Nations Conventions against transnational organized crime in combating all forms of criminal activity. Criminalization of the laundering of proceeds of crime, Article 6, Convention calls on participants countries to apply the convention's money laundering offences to the widest range of predicate offences. Indian law to curb terror financing. Indian initiative to set up Financial Intelligence Unit to combat transnational movement of illicit funds is an evolving process in this direction. The unit was established in November 2004 for receiving, processing, analyzing and disseminating all information relating to suspect financial transactions. It is responsible for coordinating and strengthening efforts of national and international intelligence, investigation and enforcement agency in pursuing the global effort against money laundering and related crimes. It is an independent body reporting directly to the Economic Intelligence Council headed by the Finance Minister. Financial Intelligence Unit 2004 since 2009 in India has enhanced its capacity on preventing money laundering and strengthened its legal provisions for preventive action. However, there is still scope for improvement. By resolving long-standing legal issues pertaining to domestic predicate offence, it may be noted that the issue of terror financing attracts provisions of a host of legislations including number 1, the Lawful Activities Prevention Act 1967, the Prevention of Money Laundering Act 2002, Foreign Exchange Management Act 1999, popularly known as FEMA, Conservation of Foreign Exchange and Prevention of Smuggling Activities Act 1976, Section 17 of the Unlawful Activities Prevention Amendment Act 2008 punishes for raising funds for terrorist act was added, in which whoever in India or in foreign country directly or indirectly raises funds shall be liable for imprisonment for not less than 5 years, but which may extend to imprisonment for a life and shall also be liable for fine. In India, majority of work pertaining to countering terror financing has been region and entity specific, such as in Punjab, Northeast, narcotics and drugs trafficking, funding of Naxal movement, etc. It appears, however, that very limited work has been carried out on the subject of terror financing in its totality, that would include all related issues such as funding resources, layering of funds, integration of funds and distribution through various channels. In today's context, extensive use of technology allows money to move anywhere in the world with speed and ease, making the task of combating money laundering and terrorist financing more urgent and more difficult than over before two tracks. Not only in India, intelligence and the security agencies the world over have been trying continuously to grapple with the menace, but only with partial successes. Financial Action Task Force, a global intergovernmental body which will help the country combat money laundering and terror financing. India joined as a member of the FATF, a standard setting global organization that aims to combat money laundering and terror financing. Becoming a part of FATF will help the country ensure that financial institutions are not vulnerable to infiltrate or abuse by organized crime groups. Minister of State for Finance Namo Narayan Meena said in a written reply to Rajya Sabha, its FATF membership will help India to build the capacity to fight terrorism and trace terrorist money, and to successfully investigate and prosecute money laundering and terrorist financing offences. FATF has 34 countries and 2 regional organizations, European Commission and the Gulf Cooperation Council. As member, it was set up by the G7 nation to create global policy and framework to combat financial crimes, with special focus on checking terror funding, terror financing, investigation and trial. In cases of JKA-RT-HM terror financing case of Jammu and Kashmir, Delhi, as per Government of India, Ministry of Home Affairs Order number 1111 dated 7 September 2011, National Investigation Agency registered a case. NIA Police Station, New Delhi under section 120B read with 120A Indian Penal Code and section 17, 18, 39 and 40 of Unlawful Activity Prevention Act 1967 against Hizbul Mujahideen prescribed terrorist organization was carrying out terrorist activity in India and has been regularly receiving funds originating from neighboring countries. The funds so collected were given to an active terrorist and families of killed terrorists in Jammu and Kashmir of Hizbul Mujahideen outfit. Further alleged that it is raising the aforesaid fund through Jammu Kashmir Affectors Relief Trust, its front organization. It is further alleged that banking channels was extensively used for transfer of funds to various banks account for the aforementioned activities. During the investigation, complexity of 12 accused persons surfaced. 4 accused persons were arrested and 8 were absconding. Charge sheet has been filed by NIA against 10 accused persons on 30th 11 2013 before the Honorable NIA Special Court Patiala, New Delhi, and 2 supplementary charge sheets were filed against 1 accused each in 2014. The case is under further investigation under section 173 clause 8 of CRPC. Coming to drug trafficking. Drug trafficking is lucrative illicit commodity doing business worth billions of dollars annually. Covered by range of international and regional instruments including 1988 Vienna and 2000 Palermo Convention, examples are opium trafficking in Afghanistan, heroin and cocaine trafficking in Colombia, extortion, highly profitable tactics to coerce money, property and services from transnational companies or individual international responses limited to regional instruments. OAS Convention of European Union. Coming to example, Chautauqua case in Colombo, LTTE in France, kidnapped for ransom, effectively tactics of intimidation to secure financial gain in exchange of release of kidnapped individual. Covered by some international and regional instruments including 1979 International Convention against the taking of hostages and in 1973 Convention on the prevention and punishment of crime against internationally protected persons. Security Council Resolution 1904 of 2009 decision of African Union, Al-Qaeda in Islamic Maghreb, AQIM activities in Sahel Sahara including kidnap of 2 Austrian tourists in 2008 and 2 United Nations representatives in Nigeria. A consolidated list of intellectual property crimes includes trademark counterfeiting and copyright piracy, with film piracy generating large share of global market. Interpol says worth $1,450,000,000 a year, low risk, high return, often not highly priority of counter-terrorist financing. An international and regional response includes wide range of instruments and agreements including agreement on trade related aspects of intellectual property rights. Administered by WTO, the TRIPS agreement, company led by Dawood Ibrahim, major crime syndicate practicing extortion, smuggling, contract killing and counterfeiting allegedly of funds in 1993 Mumbai bombing, ties with Al Qaeda and Lashkar-e-Taiba. Consolidated list, new payment technologies. Coming to new payment technologies, in a new manner initiating payments or transfer value outside of the traditional financial system, such as mobile phone payments, prepaid card electronic purses, internet online payment services, that is PayPal, and digital precious metals, that is e-gold. New payment technologies can be divided into two important aspects. One, financial inclusion, 2.5 billion people unbanked, and secondly, potential risk. Large variety of products poses challenges in regulating depending on the type of new payment methods, which is less traceable and needs for robust cooperation between agencies. New payment technologies provide new opportunities for financial transactions. Transactions can be executed at any time. The transaction may not involve bank accounts or other traditional payment methods. NPT do not always fit in the traditional financial service provider categories and therefore fall outside the scope of regulation. NPT creates new opportunities for criminals to misuse it for money laundering or terrorist financing. This creates new challenges for law enforcement. Example, new payment technologies are follows. Mobile payment services, use of mobile phones to initiate payment is widespread in Southeast Asia, Europe and upcoming in Africa. Variety in type and form. Mobile payment services allows non-bank and non-securities account holders to make payment with mobile phones. Providers may not be non-traditional financial institutions with different controls and supervision measures. Mobile money services allow value storage on mobile phone. Phone credits or airtime can be used as tender for payment. These systems may fall out of regulation and prudential supervision. Example, a new payment technology is prepaid cards, provide access to monetary funds and are paid in advance by the card holder. Large variety of types, but similar to debit cards and rely on access to an account. Issued for limited closed loop or multiple open loop purposes. Importance of financial information as criminals and our financial system continue to become more sophisticated. Financial transactional information becomes more relevant as a critically important investigative mechanism. Finance, communications and agreed are biggest vulnerabilities to bad guy. An investigator's ability to collect and use financial information can be devastating to terrorists and criminals. Without money, terrorist and criminal organizations cannot adequately function. Financial investigations should be integral part of investigative strategies. Knowing what financial information is relevant, where to collect it from and how to use it are facts all investigators can benefit from. Identifying terror financing. There are numerous alerting mechanisms that financial institutions can use to identify terrorists. Financing by using methods of proactive investigation, reactive investigation, challenging targeted transactions and monitoring media reporting. Help law enforcement agencies request, process, transaction, monitoring of accounts for those were dormant for long time, transaction in conflict zone, ATM withdrawals, wire transfers, charitable transfers and uplift of student loan in conflict zone give rise to suspicion that terror financing took place. The process of channelizing funds in money laundering makes it different from terrorism financing. The end process of channelizing the funds and utilization of that money need not be necessarily used for the financing of terrorism and can be used for various commercial benefits as well as in movement of unaccounted money. The NIA and the law enforcing agencies have endorsed the linkage of student Islamic movement of India and Indian Mujahideen with great concern about the large flow of foreign remittance into Kerala. With the help of listed terror organizations from Saudi Arabia such as Harkat ul Ansar and its subsidiary organization Jamaat ul Ansar, how SEMI set up terror shops in Kerala once again with the ease in 2011. Coming to conclude, an effective and comprehensive counter-terror financing strategies should encompass all the fundamental elements associated with the mechanics of financing of terrorism and plan to build up the capabilities accordingly. It should begin with contextualizing the threat analysis and framework to mitigate those threats. The complexities of its nature underpins the need to flow and dual track approach covering a holistic assessment along with development of capacity oriented strategy strengthening law enforcing agency to tackle all kinds of challenges. Encourage states to implement the relevant international and regional instruments including the Palmero Convention, thereby enabling them to address crimes that fund terrorism in a comprehensive manner. Encourage states to develop responses aimed at preventing and financing of terrorism through both established and emerging techniques, and encourage states to implement the norms and standards of FATF and of the other relevant international and regional organizations. Terrorism of all variety can be tackled with all seriousness is absolutely unavoidable for India, which has been the victim of for many decades. Situated in the region that has been described and designated as the epicenter of global terrorism, India urgently needs to redefine its strategy to deal with global terrorism by developing a comprehensive national security architecture including formulation of a comprehensive national policy on terrorism. It must recognize that the act of terror cannot be barely found as a law and order problem. What India needs is more comprehensive and inclusive approach that blends different key elements to form a credible counter-terror strategy. A comprehensive and effective legal framework to deal with all aspects of terrorism needs to be enacted. The law should have adequate safeguards to prevent its misuse. Thank you for watching.